Hi everyone. So this is Nilis. So for the first time, I'm coming live in my channel, and I have today Sunit as my host. So what today we're going to do? Today we're going to discuss about his journey as a his journey in technology. Like he's a college student, but he has a lot of interest toward mobile, and he's also doing currently a lot of startup freelancing and also working for a company. So we'll discuss how he get into this, how he get his interest towards the technology, and then what we can learn from his journey till now. So welcome, Sunit. It will be good if you just give a brief intro about that, and then we can continue from there.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me, Anilesh. It's really nice to be here. So, folks, I'm Sunit Roy. I'm currently a third year computer science student. I live in Bangalore, and I was a Google Summer of Code student in TensorFlow in 2021, and I'm also a GitHub Campus expert. Actually, I was the second GitHub Campus expert in West Bengal, um, and currently I'm working remotely in a UK-based Web3 startup where we're building um, marketing services for on-chain activities. And also, I started one startup myself, of which was named KitePay, and we tried to build payments for crypto there, and it got some traction, and I turned pilot mode, but I will start working on it later.
Sunit, interest toward engineering and again in the computer science.
So I didn't had any options. Actually, I was into sports. I played for my district in cricket for 6 years, and after I completed my 10th, then my dad said that you have to do this engineering, and I got into a polytechnic college, and then COVID started, and at that time I wanted to make some money. I searched on internet how I can make money. They said if you learn coding, there is a chance that you can make some money from doing freelancing. So as they said on internet, I started learning coding. At that time I didn't have any laptop, so I wrote all of the codes in one diary. And after the COVID curfew ended, I got a laptop which was my brother's. I started doing coding, and after 6 months, I got an internship. And all of the things they say in internet that you learn code and you get freelancing gigs, it's not. I figured out it's not true. Getting gigs are not that easy.
So
Then
which
I worked
programming
there.
language you started like that time?
So I somehow got to know that mobile developers get paid more than web developers.
Okay.
So I thought of learning Java because if I learn Java, I can build native Android apps. So I learned Java and then Android development.
That's good. So did you get any freelancing opportunity that time, and how you got it after learning Java?
So after learning Java, I didn't got any freelancing. Even I didn't try. I tried for freelancing opportunities after I learned some a bit about Android development. I got the basics of Android development and to I tried to get some gigs, but at that time wasn't getting in gigs, and if I get, it was not from the website, mostly from offline connections. So in freelancing, what I see is there's way of getting gigs is what is very competitive. You get in website and you present your gig, and if they like it, if they like your profile, they give you. And other way is making a good profile, sharing your learnings, and people directly reach out to you, and that way you can charge more also.
So
So
which platform you
but
used
yeah,
for searching freelancing, like Upwork or any other thing which you find
yeah,
useful?
I made a I made two accounts. One was in Upwork, one was in freelancer.com, and both of the places. And also there is very few chances of gigs you can make. I think at that time it was like that.
Okay.
You can make certain number of gigs, try for certain number of gigs.
Okay. Okay. So how difficult was to like get the actual client in Upwork or freelancing.com? Like,
No, it wasn't like anything that they tell you in YouTube videos. So it was there were very experienced people who already do have the code, and they just will change something about the code and it will work for the client. And if you are a newbie, you don't have code bases ready, also you don't have a code portfolio ready, either you have to charge very less, and that even that time they will do lots of iterations. So it's very tough for a new freelancer. So
got it.
making a
Got
good
it.
portfolio and then trying for the gigs would be better.
Yeah, I think at any platform it will take some time to get it to that level. Like, so how you started your interaction with other like organization like I saw GitHub. So how you got into that as a community expert there?
Yeah, so in GitHub, the GitHub Community Expert program that I'm part of is very competitive, and getting there is very tough. Like what I said, I was the second one from the whole West Bengal students who got in. So it's bit of luck which is involved. Other than that, you have to have some good technical skills. Uh, so the problem with community programs and all this is some people have very good um, community background. They organize various different events, and some people have very strong open source development background. But finding the mix of it is very tough. So if you have good technical expertise and have good credibility, and also there are some essays in GitHub Campus Expert program. There are some essays, and they don't ask you for your social media handles. They don't see how much following you have, but there are some essays that you have to write, and the essays changes every cohort. So you have to give it very detailed and which needs to be unique. And if you do have any real reason of getting the help from and sponsorship from GitHub and access to the GitHub community, only then they let you get in. So
Are these paid programs like Campus Expert, or it's just like intensive kind of thing?
so these are not directly paid, like you don't get monthly paid by GitHub. But what this program has is, if you organize anything, you have a very close connection with the GitHub education team, so you can ask for sponsorship. And if you are even going for any conferences, they can even sponsor your trip. And also they give you lots of opportunities for getting hired and uh, doing a lot.
So what is like exactly your role as a campus expert right now? Like apart, so you are just what you are organizing the events in your colleges or something like that.
Yeah. So in GitHub, we organize GitHub Campus Expert basically organize tech events, and you don't necessarily have to have GitHub theme added to it. But if you are organizing any tech event, that's good for GitHub, and you can get help. So mostly GitHub Campus Expert organize event, like last year, like Google has a Dev Fest, um, GitHub has a GitHub Field Day. So last year, 2022, we organized two GitHub Field Day. One was in Delhi and one was in Bangalore. So GitHub Field Experts and GitHub Campus Expert do that.
Yeah. So apart from GitHub, I also see that you are actively lead in what Twitter and Google. So what is your role there as a part of community lead in Twitter?
So Twitter had a API for building on top of the Twitter data. So at that time, they were there were communities that they are building. So there were only two communities, Twitter communities in India for building a Twitter API. So one was in Bangalore, one was in Delhi. So I was in Kolkata at the time. So I contacted with their program manager to start the community in Kolkata, and so people can build on top of Twitter APIs. And at that time, if you can remember, COVID was near. People were using Twitter data to create applications to help medical patients. So I thought that Twitter will be a very good place to build on top. Twitter data will be a very good thing to build on top. So I started that community in Kolkata, and the Google. I was a Google Summer of Code student. So I worked with the Google Brain team when I was in the TensorFlow. I got selected for the TensorFlow project. So I created some natural language processing applications, and at that time that was it. It was in 2021. It's a long time ago.
So what is the process of getting into this?
So for getting into Google Summer of Code, first Google Summer of Code is a platform which
Hmm.
Google organizes this Google Summer of Code program, and it's basically a platform where open source organizations present their projects, and contributors who like the project and want to contribute to that, they then apply for those projects. Maybe they start contributing to the project, and then they make the application. And if the mentors like their application and whatever proof of work they show, then they get in and they work with the organization, and they get a good stipend, and Google pays for that stipend. So this is like Google's way of paying to the open source. And here, big organizations like Mozilla Firefox and Google itself, and also Apple participates. So it's like open source most prestigious uh, program.
Yeah, that's great. I think so. Apart from your college life, you're trying a lot of things. Just I think to gain experience and expertise in different field. Like so, like how can a normal college student can like know about first thing like that? Okay, that these things actually exist, and I can participate in Google Summer of Code, or I can be a campus expert in GitHub. Or so, how a college students should like see themselves, or which platform they should uh, visit, that okay they will know first thing that they have to know about these things, right? Then when they applying and all other things, so how you came to know about that? Okay, I can do this, I can do that. So like, is there any senior who have guide you, or like how the process actually went?
Hmm. So in our college, people say about tier three. I was in a diploma college. If there is something called tier four, it was like that. So no senior was helping me. In our diploma college, it was very no one was aware of it. But in YouTube, I was following some influencers, and they were talking about Google Summer of Code and various things. So then I got to know about the programs, mostly from YouTube. And now I mostly get to know about the programs and events from Twitter. And these are the platforms. If you follow the right people, they will tweet about the programs and events. And if
Hmm.
you get in there or try to get there, you will get some opportunities, and then you can start building on top of it.
That's great. Okay, let's talk something about your startup, KitePay. I think you're still in college. I think you told second year, right?
I wasn't. I'm in third year.
Okay, so when
I
you
just
started
got in
this,
third year.
you were in second year, right? So
Yeah.
how you got idea to actually start a startup at the second year, like, and what is actually this KitePay all about?
So I got this idea of starting this project in 2022. So the bull run in crypto was just ending. People were not actively talking about crypto, but uh, I used to study a lot about startups, and at that time I was also active on YouTube. I was making content on mobile development and also doing podcasts and all. So
Mhm.
I thought of working on a startup because it will be very good for my learning, and also it will enhance my technical abilities. So I was very curious about payment startups and how they do it. I used to learn about Visa, Mastercard, um, Stripe. Like in financial sector, Visa is the most profitable company and most valued company. So um, and um, the main objective of creating the Bitcoin was doing decentralized transaction. And now lots of banks are internally using blockchain for doing payments. But for our day-to-day use, blockchain networks and applications are really hard to use. People have to know about seed phrases, and also have to share their public keys. And it's very tough to get in. So at that time, I started to study about it, and I was a mobile developer. So first thing that got into my mind was building a application. So I built a mobile wallet on Solana blockchain. It is one of the featured project in the official Solana Pay website. So I built a mobile wallet which you can use for creating multiple wallets, and you can seamlessly interact with multiple wallets, and you can do payments through QR directly by directly entering the public key, and do a tap to pay like NFC payments. Uh, Lastly, I was working on privacy transactions. So in blockchain, the main problem is whenever you pay someone, they get your public key. And if they have your public key, they can see all of the transactions that you made, how much money that you have, which is not good. You Most people won't be good with
Yes.
sharing their private transaction, private details. So I was creating private transactions for mobile wallet, and right now it is in pilot mode, but I will soon start working on it, and um, I will resume my work there.
So this app was again developed using just for the Android using Java, or you use some other technologies for it?
So I created the app on Flutter. It is rightly live on Play Store. I created on Flutter because I knew bit of Flutter, and also I wanted to make it cross-platform. So maybe later when I will be publishing on iOS, it will be easier for me to do it.
Yeah. So you learned Flutter for development of this Kitepay apart from your existing knowledge on the Android Java, right?
Yeah, I had some understanding of Flutter. I used to give some interviews for that for getting jobs in Flutter, but
Mhm.
uh, for beginning Kitepay, I had to learn a lot about Flutter, more about Flutter.
Yeah, obviously, I think when you build something, a final product, not just for learning purpose here, like even for like setting a small element at right place can take you some lot of time because you have to do that in that approach. So so is this app that you built was just like proof of concept, or it was actually talking to some API with real time data?
So it was you can directly do payments with Kitepay. So
Hmm.
it's live on mainnet. So you can, no matter how much coins tokens value you have, you can do payments through Kitepay, and it's live on mainnet. So the transactions you can do. And also I was talking with some investors at that time. I had investors, but I wanted to build the product bit more before taking the funding.
So you told currently you are working, so that is a freelance project that you are doing on Python, right?
So where I'm working, it's contractual. So Right now I'm working as a full-time, like full-time for 40 hours a week, but it's in contractual. I'm not right employed.
You
Thank you.
so you are doing apart from your college a 40 hours full-time job. That's really good thing. So what's your like future after college? Like which like you have worked in mobile, Python, and then Dart. So what career you have not to know? Have you decided that okay after college I want to go in which specific direction?
So 1 year ago, my whole objective was to build a startup and build a good product, get to as many people as I can. Maybe after some years, uh, this will be that will also come in my mind of building a product and getting to mass people and um, helping them through my product. But right now, what I'm thinking is getting some good experience, enhance my skills, work with some great people, make some connections, and also enjoy life, get into
That's more
different
important.
places. Yeah,
Yeah, you'll never get your college life back, right? That's
yeah.
one thing. Yeah, and yeah, joining us some company at this stage, like it will really help you because when you work alone, like you code everything, you don't know what you are doing right, what you are doing wrong. Like even if the code is working right, so if you're working with some
Mm,
people, then your code is getting reviewed or you're getting stuck.
mm.
So yeah, you'll have a better learning approach than what you learn from yourself. What the final thing is that what you will suggest for a college student that how they should utilize the time and apart from their regular college study, take interest or take participate in learning something, building something.
So I feel if you're in college, try to get into some good communities and make some good connections. Like right now, what job I'm doing is I got this from one connection of mine. So if you want to do work with some good startups and all, then you have to make some good connections and also have to brush up your technical skills. So first try to learn something, some coding language, some development framework, and then build stuff, contribute to open source projects, try to get an internship, and then apply to good companies so you can get a good job at the end of your college.
So yeah, Smith, I think that's all for our talk for today. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Divesh.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.